Give me an M.
Motor.
Give me an N.
Neuron. Give me a D.
Disease.
Hey guys, welcome back to
Girlies Get Bio.
Today we're going to be talking about MND. Karla, what exactly is MND?
Hunter. MND is motor neuron disease. Motor neuron disease is a disease that affects the nerves found in your spinal cord and in your brain, which tell your muscles what to do. With this disease, you're going to be having difficulties with your balance, speech issues, daily tasks, walking, and other things that you do on a daily basis. The symptoms usually start at around 40, but not everybody starts it at the same time. There are five different types of motor neuron disease. Let's start off with ALS. Do you guys know anything about ALS?
I do. So ALS is a condition where the spinal cord and the brainstem have neuron issues. And what happens with cell communication is cells get damaged, so the motor neurons get damaged, resulting in hardened myelin sheath, and the myelin sheath speed up the messages that are going through the neurons. So this causes loss of motor control and slow moving action potential, which is what basically tells your body how to move and what it's doing. And it also reduces ATP production and cellular respiration, which is not good for your cell communication.
Let's take a look at what that looks like. So how a good neuron works is that the energy will be transferred very smoothly through the neuron thanks to the myelin sheaths that speed up the process, and which let us wave our arms around in normal speed, and we don't have any problem with that. But a bad neuron, the myelin sheaths aren't working correctly, and in some other diseases there's different reasons why it might not move perfectly through the neuron, but the problem is it'll move too slow, which causes us to have lack of control, loss of motor functions. A lot of times people with these diseases, like, they can't breathe right or they can't swallow, they might trip on things more, and they might have loss of control over their limbs.
As for medical treatments go, there is a new gene therapy being produced to help improve the function of life, because motor neuron disease really does affect your way of living, and it is being said to be done around 3 years, but it is being tested in mice because mice have the same genomes as humans, and it is a really good way to test if it's going to work. ALS is 20% more common in men than women, but that increases with age, and 10% of the disease comes from inherited genes, while the other 90 occur just without genetic inheritance, and that is just how that happens.
Someone who had been affected by ALS is Sarah Langs. She'd been a writer for the MLB.com website. After her diagnosis in 2021, she went on to join an all-women's broadcasting crew. She used her reach online to promote nonprofits and more research efforts for ALS. She then created her own fundraising event, #FistBumps4ALS, much like the well-known ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Here is a video of one of our own doing the ice bucket challenge, and but sadly, due to time, this video was taken in 2014 and the sound has been lost.
Even though motor neuron disease greatly affects the nervous system, there are many types, starting with
BPB, which is progressive bulbar palsy. BPB is a phenotype of MND, and it involves the brainstem containing motor neurons that are needed for swallowing and speaking and chewing. Affected people of this phenotype have unusual outbursts of laughing and crying called emotional liability. The exact cause of BPB is unknown, but once people have it, there's no getting rid of it, and once you are diagnosed with it, you are usually given 10 years to live. Although there is no cure for it, they can manage it so that it doesn't get out of hand and it doesn't get worse over time. 5 to 17 in 100,000 people have it, and it was first recognized by a French neurologist named Guillaume Ducherme, and he noticed this type of different strain of it, and he realized that it wasn't classified as just normal ALS or motor neuron disease, and decided to dive deeper and study into it more.
There's also Kennedy's disease, which is also known as SBMA, or spinal bulbar muscular atrophy, and this causes weakened muscles and twitches, including severe cramps, trouble swallowing, trouble speaking, and arm and leg twitches and muscle deterioration. A famous person who has it is Ben Stiller, a famous American actor, and he suffers from this and deals with weakened muscles. And it's very frequent in Japan, and it was first described from an abstract in 1996 or 1966 about Kennedy's disease in general. And it's a disruption in the transmission of nerve cell signals from the brain to the brainstem and the spinal cord.
Another form of MND is PLS, primary lateral sclerosis. It's a rare form of MND, and 3 out of 100 cases of MND are PLS. This disease slowly progresses with time, but usually starts in the lower limbs and ends up affecting your speech. There is still no cure. There's a lot of research being done, and we don't really know what causes it other than environmental and genetic factors. But you will have very similar symptoms to ALS, and about 300 to 500 people in the US have it. A famous person with PLS is Dwight Clark. He was diagnosed with PLS in 2015, and he was a wide receiver for the 49ers. He started the Golden Heart Fund for players facing challenges, emotional, physical, financial, and this has had a lasting effect on the football community.
Another form of MND is PMA, which stands for progressive muscle atrophy. This affects your muscles, and they slowly deteriorate over time. The symptoms can show up early as 20 to 30 years old, but the average age of diagnosis is about 45 years old. This disease has a 7-year longer life expectancy than someone with ALS. Because these diseases we have are very rare, there is limited research and information about possible treatments.
Thank you for watching Girlies Get Bio. We hope you learned a lot about motor neuron disease and its different types.